Thank you all for checking out Crime Culture. Today's story is a chilling mystery of a young woman who sets off on a road trip across the country. This woman is searching for meaning, freedom, and perhaps herself. Days later, her Jeep Cherokee is found abandoned on a remote mountain road in Washington state. Inside remains cash, clothes, and signs someone had been living there, but this young woman is nowhere to be found. Her disappearance has haunted investigators, her family, and true crime followers for over 2.5 decades. What happened on that road? Did this young woman run away, start a new life, fall victim to foul play, or become a casualty of a tragic accident in the wilderness? Today, we step into the shoes of Leah Roberts, the college student who went missing after leaving the comfort of her Durham, North Carolina apartment many years ago. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the morbid and mysterious, go ahead and fist bump that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on all post notifications. It truly helps my channel grow and allows me to keep bringing you haunting stories just like the one I am promising you today. All right, turn down the lights, settle in, and prepare yourself as we dive into today's story. Leah Roberts was 23 years old in March of 2000. She lived in Durham, North Carolina. She was a bright, adventurous young woman with piercing eyes and an infectious laugh, but her life was far from ordinary. Years earlier, Leah's world had been shaken. Her father died suddenly from a chronic lung illness, and not too long before that, during her sophomore year at North Carolina University, she had lost her mother as well to heart disease. For Leah, grief was a constant companion. Shortly after the loss of her parents, in 1998, Leah was involved in a severe car accident where she punctured her lung and shattered her femur, an injury that ended up requiring a metal rod being surgically implanted into her leg so it would heal. It was this final incident that reshaped her view of the world, leading to Leah claiming that she felt born again and was ready to start fresh. Leah was resilient. She found inspiration in the writings of Jack Kerouac, especially his novel, The Dharma Bums, a book about self-discovery through the lens of Buddhism and nature. She was fascinated with the themes of freedom, self-discovery, and the call of the open road. In early 2000, Leah decided she needed a break, a true escape. She began planning a solo journey, a pilgrimage of sorts, into the wide-open landscapes Kerouac had described. In the early morning hours on March 9th, 2000, a crisp Thursday morning in Durham, Leah is packing her Jeep Cherokee, a white 93 with a paw print decal on the back. She's moving briskly, humming as she begins to pack important belongings into her car. She grabs her guitar and throws it in the back. She slides on her mother's engagement ring, grabs her cat B, along with her favorite cat food, and gets into the Jeep and sets off. Her roommates notice she seems cheerful, upbeat, even excited. She tells them she's heading out, but doesn't share many details. Later, it's discovered she left behind notes, letters, and signs that she intended this trip as more than just a vacation. Leah hits the road. Stopping by her local bank prior to leaving town, Leah would withdraw several $1,000s. Then, she started driving, though her final destination is not really known. She jumps on Interstate 40 from North Carolina and takes it through the southern part of the United States, leaving breadcrumbs on this trail of self-discovery that makes her whereabouts difficult to track. Given that there is limited information on this case and the events that led up to Leah's disappearance, the days that follow are pieced together through bank records, gas station receipts, and eyewitness sightings. On March 9th, 2000, Leah finishes packing up her belongings and leaves her apartment in Durham, North Carolina. With a couple $1,000s, her guitar, her mother's engagement ring, and her pet cat, Leah hits the road and starts traveling west. She is seen on surveillance footage spending the night in a motel near Memphis, Tennessee. Her bank records then showed her driving along Interstate 40 until it ended in California. Then she would begin heading north on Interstate 5. Throughout her drive on Highway 40, her bank records show her getting gas in the southern part of the country before starting to head north. On March 13th, 2000, around 12 a.m., security camera footage shows Leah alone and seemingly in good health at a gas station in Brooks, Oregon. She appeared to be looking at someone or something in the parking lot during the transaction. After fueling up, Leah steps back into her car and continues heading north. We then have the next record of her later in the afternoon on the same day purchasing a ticket stub for the movie American Beauty. This places Leah Roberts at the Belly's Fair Mall Theater in Bellingham, Washington. Then, that evening, at a restaurant in the same mall, she was reportedly seen with two men. One witness claims she left with a third man she called Barry, though this claim was uncorroborated. Each stop adds another breadcrumb to her trail. Leah is moving fast, covering thousands of miles in just a matter of days. To those who knew her, this wasn't surprising. Leah was spontaneous, fearless, drawn to adventure. But where exactly was she going? Her writings and conversations suggest she was fascinated by the Pacific Northwest, drawn to the Cascade Mountains, where Kerouac himself had once spent time as a fire lookout. Was she simply just trying to replicate his trip, or did she have different plans entirely? March 18, 2000, 9 days after Leah left North Carolina, two joggers were running on Canyon Creek Road near Bellingham, Washington. While jogging, they looked over and saw a 1993 white Jeep Cherokee at the bottom of an embankment. The scene is strange. The Jeep has run off the road, crashed into an embankment, yet the damage is inconsistent. Investigators find blankets hung up inside, almost as if someone had been camping. Leah's personal belongings, cash, clothes, jewelry, are scattered, but nothing of real value is missing. Her clothes are hanging on the trees nearby, almost as if she was drying them. It doesn't look like a robbery. It doesn't look like a simple accident. It looks staged. The car's starter relay switch has been tampered with, suggesting mechanical sabotage. But why? Even stranger, Leah herself is nowhere to be found. No footprints, no blood, no signs of struggle, just an empty car in the woods waiting for answers. Local authorities, along with Leah's family, launch a desperate search. Helicopters sweep the forest, search dogs track the area, flyers are posted across Washington, but days turn to weeks and Leah leaves no trace. Her sister Kara flies in, retracing Leah's steps, begging for leads. Kara is convinced Leah wouldn't just vanish, something happened to her. Tips flood in. Some claim to have seen Leah at truck stops. Others insist she was traveling with strangers, but none of these leads pan out. Detectives begin to grow frustrated. Was Leah alive, living under the radar, attempting to escape the past trauma she had recently experienced? Or had she fallen victim to foul play somewhere in those mountains? To this day, Leah's disappearance still remains unsolved, though we can theorize what could have possibly happened to Leah. The first theory of what happened to Leah is that this was just a tragic accident. Given how vast, dangerous, and unforgiving the Cascade Mountains are, some believe Leah wandered into the wilderness after the crash and succumbed to the elements. The second theory is that Leah staged the crash herself, abandoning her old life to start fresh. She had money, independence, and the willpower to vanish. This theory, though, does not explain the strange condition her vehicle was found in. You would think, had she voluntarily disappeared and started a new life, she would have taken her valuables along with her, but this was not the case. The third and possibly most disturbing theory is foul play. This theory suggests Leah met someone along the way who meant her harm. Perhaps she was forced off the road, or worse, and her disappearance covered up by whoever last saw her alive. Possibly one of the men she was last seen with nearby at the mall in Bellingham, Washington. The theories go on, but one truth remains. It's been over 2.5 decades since Leah Roberts set out on her final road trip. Her family still searches for answers. Her case remains open, unsolved, and haunting. To this day, the Jeep in the woods stands as a symbol of mystery. A young woman, driven by grief and inspired by freedom, vanished into thin air. Leah's story is not just about disappearance. It's about the fragility of life, the danger of isolation, and the human need to search for meaning in the unknown. Somewhere out there, Leah's truth still exists. Until it's found, her story will remain one of the great unsolved mysteries of the Pacific Northwest. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to comment your thoughts on this bizarre disappearance. Do you think Leah chose to voluntarily step out of her life, or do you believe something more sinister occurred? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you're a fan of the morbid and mysterious, be sure to subscribe to Crime Culture, where I will be posting a new haunting true story every week. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on all post notifications. Until next week, stay safe and stay curious.